So, if you're at all familiar with the firearm world, you have no doubt heard of Glocks, such as the Glock 17, or the 40, or 45, or 22, or 20. Pretty much, you pick a number between 17 and 45, there is likely a model of Glock named after it, even though the number has nothing to do with the gun. I know, crazy. Battlefield has made it canon that 20 years in the future, Glock has rebranded to the name Gunther and actually made a 5.7 Glock. Except it's not chambered in 5.7 because, of course, that would be too cool. It's chambered in 9mm as seen on the upper receiver. So, the Glock has been around for over 40 years. It's not out of the world to be assumed that they're still going to be here for another 20. But I'm going to go ahead and review the description and the attributes for you. The G57, as it is named in game, is compact, lightweight, and reliable Austrian pistol. Very, very accurate. That is how most people would describe a Glock. The attributes include lightweight, aggressive, and minimal range. Also, very true, very much believable on that. That is accurate. But, gamers, I have bad news. This Glock suffers from fucked up and retarded magazine syndrome. That is a medical term diagnosed by me, not a doctor. So, the base mag is correct. 17 rounds do come standard in most Glocks. That's very true. But the close combat extended mag is not 27 rounds, as it says it is in game. That, my friends, is a 33-round stick magazine. And the drum mag also should not be 35 rounds. That is a 50-round drum magazine, which is also likely available to purchase at your local Rural King. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. 100% available on the internet, though. Unless you live anywhere but the United States, then suck shit. 1 point has been deducted for the magazine issue. As of 2023, we are on the 5th generation of Glocks, so using our brains and the math that we learned from our public schools, we could deduct that in 2042, they would be on the 7th generation of Glock firearms. So I'm going to give a little bit of leeway to the devs here, since no one knows exactly what Glock or Gunther is going to have in 20 years, and who knows, they might even change to Gunther. I hope not. That'd be a shitty brand decision, but they may even have a Glock to shoot horse cum. In case you didn't know, Glock now sells horse semen and horse insemination kits. Probably not, but if they did, I guarantee it'd be shaped like a Glock handgun. For purely marketing strategy. Moving on. This is not in my normal voice. While I was writing this, I found all the countries that used Glock, all the countries that use Glocks. I'm going to read off to you every single country that uses the Glock handgun in some form or fashion. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please fasten your seatbelts. Argentina, Armenia, Australia, Austria, Azerbaijan, Bangladesh, Brazil, Canada, China, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Ecuador, Estonia, Finland, France, Georgia, Germany, Greece, Hong Kong, Iceland, India, Indonesia, Iraq, Israel, Jordan, Kosovo, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malaysia, Mexico, Monaco, Montenegro, whatever, Myanmar, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Pakistan, Philippines, Peru, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Russia, Serbia, Singapore, Slovakia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Taiwan, Thailand, Timor-Leste, Tunisia, Turkey, Ukraine, United Kingdom, United States, Uruguay, the Vatican City, Venezuela, and Yemen. Okay, you may now unbuckle your seatbelts because we are back on cruise control. How does it compare? How does the Battlefield 2042 version of the Glock compare to the real-life version of the Glock? And might I ask, why in the hell is it burst fire? Aesthetically, it is perfect. Good job, Battlefield. Very well done. Very cool. Gold star for you. The selector switch for the burst and semi is there, and the safety trigger is also a neat addition. 2 gold stars for Battlefield. I still don't know why it's burst, probably for balancing issues, so I'm not going to deduct points for that, because a burst fire handgun is possible. It does exist. We're going to be talking about one later in this video. Be sure to stay tuned for that one. And other than that, I am going to give it a 9 out of 10 because it is fairly accurate. It is very well done. So the MP28 is odd. Let's go over its description and features. The MP28 converts the M28 9mm pistol into a stable and accurate carbine. Attributes include precise and reduced range, precision. It is likely not as precise as many people would think it is, because while it is a handgun in a carbine chassis, it is not exactly, you know, it's still a handgun. You still have a 4 or 5 inch barrel on there, and pushing out, 9mm, not known for its pinpoint accuracy, but if it makes you feel better, sure, I guess it's size. Either way. The reason I say this is odd is because the chassis is modeled after the Sig Sauer Flux Raider chassis for their P320s. But in game, it is not their version of Sig Sauer. It is their special version of Smith & Wesson, aka Wissy and Shit, or something like that. I have no idea why, but it has fucked up and retarded mag syndrome, so it gets a 7 out of 10. And because it hurts my brain to look at, we're going to be moving on. The M44. Firing 44 Magnum rounds, this next-generation large-bore revolver requires a two-handed grip due to its manually operated latch and massive recoil. Attributes include manual action and high power. Now, I must say, high power, true, 44 Magnum was, up until the 90s or 2000s, whenever 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum was created, but before that, 44 Magnum was considered the most powerful handgun cartridge you could get your hands on, as seen in the Dirty Harry movies, most notably. But one thing I must say, you do not need a two-handed grip to fire a 44 Magnum, as many soy boys would like you to think. You can indeed one-hand Giga Chad tap a tyrant with a 44 Magnum. It is very possible. It is very doable. The recoil, while being stronger and stiffer than your average handgun, it is very manageable for true Giga Chads. It appears the M44 is based on the Taurus Raging Hunter, chambered in 44 Magnum, as the name suggests. Now I'm going to go ahead and tell you, this gun, it's perfect. Down to the last little detail. It is, in fact, perfect. The serrations, the sears, everything. And in 2042, for the sake of actually giving at least one gun a perfect score, I am giving it a 10 out of 10, the first of the series. Even though it is branded with Wetter, and I say, odd name choice, but it's 2042. It would make sense to be called Wetter if it was their version of Walther. Both starts with W. The emblem is somewhat similar, probably not. I'm not sure. I do not care to check myself on that one. But it's supposed to be Taurus, so I'm not 100% sure what they were going for over there. Also, quick caveat, it is the two-tone variation, which is a vibe. Except for the trigger, hammer, and rear sight, but that is, of course, within the realm of change and paint or whatever. A quick part switch is all that takes. Moving on.
Oh, tight, yeah! Blue, yellow, pink, whatever, man.
The BF51, equipped with a P90 magazine, this originally semi-automatic weapon got the ability to fire in full auto to maximize its personal defense capabilities while sacrificing ammo efficiency. Attributes include lightweight, aggressive, and minimal range. That is all Very accurate. And I do like how they did add the fact that it was originally semi-automatic, but it got the ability to fire in full auto. How it got that ability, I don't know. Probably some Sigma male sitting in his basement thinking, how about a LMG that I can just strap to my thigh? Very cool. Very nice. It is real, and it is a vibe, believe it or not. The description states, as I already said, that it was originally semi-automatic, but it was converted to full auto. Now, the PF51, or PF51, whichever you like, is modeled after the Kel-Tec P50, and it is the epitome of Kel-Tec engineering, because I am fairly certain, and everyone else in the community is fairly certain, that all the Kel-Tec engineers do is they meet up in a very large office room. They smoke dubious amounts of crack cocaine until someone has an idea just crazy enough that it just might work. And in this case, they created the P50, a handgun that takes P90 magazines. Very cool. Sadly though, I could not find any footage of anyone who has converted the P50 into fully automatic. Very sad, I know. Either way, I do love this gun. It is cool. It is a vibe. I would love to own one. Of course, I'm poor. Either way, it's a machine pistol. It takes P90 mags. It's a pocket LMG. We love it. What more could you want? 10 out of 10 for vibes. Moving on.
Marking a hostile. 40 meters from my position.
The NVK P125. The bullpup pistol's specially manufactured long barrel makes it an ideal semi-automatic sidearm for engaging foes at long distance with high precision. Its firing mechanism gives it much slower rate of fire, but packing uncharacteristically high power for its size. Attributes include versatile, controllable, and short range. This gun is very interesting, although it is not real, sadly. So it's getting a non-applicable score. Could it work? Possibly. I'm not 100% sure. The bolt does reciprocate in the handgun though, which so gives it room to actually move all the way back, pick up a round from the magazine that is on the complete backside of the firearm. So within the realm of possibility, yes. Is it neat? Sure. Is it practical? I have no idea. It doesn't exist. Moving on.
Now that's a handgun. Actually, it's a shotgun.
The Super 500, a compact, stockless pump-action shotgun designed as the perfect companion to quickly traverse tight and indoor spaces. It is considered high power with reduced range. Now, the Super 500 is modeled after the Serbu Super Shorty. It is the absolute Chad of everyday carry weapons. This is a 2042 gun, and it is a massive upgrade from the original Serbu model. Now, some of the upgrades include, most notably, having the addition of the Ghost Ring iron sights, as well as a textured grip of the pump handle. Now, originally, it was in fact just something that had duct tape wrapped around it for your pleasure. That is, of course, according to Serbu's wiki page. Now, the shotgun itself is fairly accurate with some 2042 upgrades added onto it, so of course I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 for a massive vibe scale. If you use this as your everyday carry gun, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You'll fit in just well here. Next. The BF2042. This legendary semi-automatic pistol requires a skilled hand to handle its weight and very large grip, but it offers in exchange some serious firepower with its 50 Action Express rounds. It is considered high power, a heavyweight, and a mid-range handgun. All of those things very true and very accurate. Most of the time, I would be angry at Battlefield for not naming it the DEAGLE or the Desert Eagle, or perhaps a more futuristic name for it, but the BF2042 does fit it, because in case you're not using your brain, BFP of course stands for Big Fucking Pistol. Now, moving on. The L9CZ, light and reliable pistol with a very unique design. The L9CZ allows its operator to be quick, precise, and deadly. Controllable, precise, and lightweight. All very true, very accurate. Now, the L9CZ is modeled after the Lugo Arms Alien Handgun, a first of its kind, lowest bore axis semi-automatic handgun. Actually took inspiration from the Chiappa Rhino revolver, which mitigates the recoil's upward flip of the muzzle via having the barrel placed on the bottom of the cylinder and firing there, causing the recoil to move directly into the shoulder's hand and arm rather than having the muzzle flip upward, causing your hand to do that tilting motion. Now, the Alien does this similarly, but not perfectly, of course, because of physics. I don't know how else to explain it to you. You can't have the barrel go all the way down. It don't work like that. Sorry. Anyway, the gun is very cool and it's perfect. Of course, it suffers from firms. Fucked up and retarded magazine syndrome. I know, how sad. 9.9 out of 10. Really love it, really like it, but it's just not there. We're now going to get into the Battlefield 3 secondaries, but of course before I do, I just have to tell you, we already done a review on the M1911 back when I was doing single firearm reviews, so if you'd like to see that, please do check the video in the corner. It will be linked there and in the description below. But we're going to go ahead and move on to something I've been anticipating talking about this entire video, the MP412 Rex. The Russian-made revolver for export, in quotation, chambers the .357 round with a 6-round capacity. It is a high damage, but it is low capacity and requires more time to reload. Now that is interesting because just like the previous revolver, it fires from moon clips or speed loaders. I'm not sure exactly which one. I'm awfully certain it uses speed loaders. You'll likely see that in the footage rolling in front of you. The reason I wanted to talk about this gun so bad is because this revolver was Russian, made for export back in the 90s. All it means is it is a firearm manufactured somewhere where they're not allowed to sell it to their actual community, or they know that the people who live there in their country are not a huge fan of whatever it is they're selling, so they make it to sell in different countries. That's why it's called export. So, the original idea of the manufacturer of the MP412 Rex, which is sadly no longer with us, the original idea was to manufacture it in Russia, because they had the patent, they filed it, it was already theirs, and they were going to make it, export it to the United States, and we were just going to buy it up like Swiss cheese, because we love their AK so much, and we figured, why not? A good revolver sounds nice. A break-action revolver sounds nice. Now, I do believe the MP412 Rex was, if not the first, it was 100% one of the first revolvers to come out with a break-action cylinder since the Schofield. Yes, I wasn't going to forget the Schofield. Don't you worry about that. Now, if you'd like to know why we don't have the MP412 Rex and why there were only ever prototypes produced of it, is because of Bill Clinton. I am dead serious. We, the American people, did not get to purchase this fine Russian revolver, and it actually never seen production because the president of Russia and Bill Clinton had a simple argument over some petty shit, likely, and in between blowjobs from Monica Lewinsky, Bill Clinton decided to ban the import of Russian firearms for the time being. That, in turn, since the company could not produce or sell any revolvers after they'd already purchased all the tools, equipment, and warehouses to create them, shut down and went out of business. I know, very sad. We can blame Bill Clinton for a lot of things, but this is now on my top 5 list. Damn you, Bill Clinton. Damn you. Either way, MP412 Rex, 10 out of 10. That is the actual correct name of it. It is very cool. It's a vibe. Moving on. The M93R, a semi-auto pistol firing a 3-round burst of 9mm lead from a 20-round magazine. Very odd, I know. 20 rounds, not divisible by 3, but If you were to load one in the chamber, it would be divisible by 3. You'd have 7 pulls of the trigger before you was on empty. The M93R is modeled after the Beretta 93 Raffica, a machine pistol upgrade from the Beretta 92 handgun, which most of you are familiar with. Of course, everyone remembers running around with the M9 in COD 4. Such good times. Raffica is Italian for volley, flurry, or burst, sometimes in English the R referred to as rapid fire. The Raffica was designed for Italian counterterrorism units in the 1970s, as well as adopted by some police and military units as a concealable sidearm with rapid fire capabilities. And a quick fun fact, this gun was Robocop's Auto 9. Yes, the M93R was the handgun of inspiration for Robocop's Auto 9. By the way, the M93R is getting a 10 out of 10. I know, we're just racking up perfect scores this time. The magazine issue is here, but it is an error of implementation. Because if you actually go to look at the attachment screen, you can see you have the 20 and 27 round magazine. I have no idea if it actually is 27 or not. I'd have to fact check myself on that. Either way, I'm still going to give it a 10 out of 10. Well, because it's my channel and I can do what I want. But 27 rounds, you can see in the selection screen, it is larger. You can see it is extended, but sadly, Battlefield devs did not add it in here. Luckily, because this is a Battlefield 3 gun, and it was simply just ported over from the other game. The MP443, standard 9mm sidearm of the Russian military and LE. I have no idea what LE stands for. In my research, I could not find anything that LE could stand for. I have no idea. If you do, please comment below. Anyway, the MP443 is a Russian-made 9mm handgun created for the Russian military in 2003 and is still serving in the Federation today. The MP443 GLOCK, named after the trials it participated in, similar to our trials, how we had the SCAR and a multitude of other things, but that's just the one that came off the top of my head. If I'm being completely honest with you, it's really not that special. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. The magazine problem is there because it is a 17 round magazine, but if you put the extended mag on, it adds extra 10 rounds, except it's the exact same magazine. And that's just criminally insane. Fuck!